Hello everyone, my name is Jekka, and I have already survived on uninhabited islands with my Hawaiian pole spear and with one knife. And today, I will again be in the forest for 24 hours without food and water. I will need to get all this on my own. I just need to survive. With the sunrise, my survival began. Well, I'll start by showing you what I have in my backpack. The first and most important thing is my Swiss knife, of course. A flint for making a fire. A very handy thing. It is not afraid of water and does not break. The third is my axe. And this time I will use a mask for spearfishing, as well as my homemade Hawaiian spear. Everything is very simple. Put on an elastic band, load the Hawaiian spear, see the fish, release it, and fire. And of course I have my mosquito suit in my backpack. I put on my backpack and set off towards the forest. Even though this is the tropics, there is even dew on the grass high in the mountains in the morning. And on my way, I come across a cocoa tree or a chocolate tree. On it, there were fruits, but they are still completely green. I need to look for ripe ones because this is a good source of energy. And here I found yellow already ripe cocoa fruits. Now the problem is how to get them. Cocoa has unique properties. On the one hand, it increases the activity of the brain, and on the other hand, it helps the body to relax and improve sleep. Also, cocoa beans increase vitality and improve mood by stimulating the production of hormones of joy, endorphins. And live cocoa beans are considered especially useful. I'll try to get them. Take a stick first, and I tried to push this fruit to the ground. But it did not help me. I had to apply a little force. Finally, I broke one fruit and ate all the beans from it. It tastes very much like regular chocolate, but also these beans have a white sweet shell in which there is sugar. On the tree, I saw about 5 more of the same fruit. I'll knock down a couple and take them into my backpack. These fruits are high in calories, so they are a good source of energy for me. I took out a couple more fruits and put them in my backpack. Let's move on. And by the way, a very interesting fact. It was the shape of the cocoa bean that prompted the first shape of the Coca-Cola bottle at the beginning of the 20th century. On my way, I meet a bamboo grove. I want to find a good and strong piece of bamboo to make a slingshot out of it. This piece fits me perfectly. I take my knife and use a saw in it. Now it needs to be split a little to get the flat part of the bamboo. I had to change the location because of many mosquitoes. Using charcoal, I draw a shape, and using a knife and an axe, I chip off extra fragments, forming the first blank for my slingshot. Using the blades of a knife, I give it a shape. And now it is important to form a comfortable handle. Using an awl in my knife, I made markings, as well as holes in which I will install rubber traction. When you are passionate about something and busy, time just flies by. A few hours later, the handle of my slingshot was ready. I am very pleased with the result. I made a fire with the help of flint and threw my slingshot there so that moisture and resins come out of the bamboo, thereby strengthening it in one position, and the bamboo fibers become harder and stronger. Let's roast it well. The main thing is not to hold the slingshot in one place. It must be turned over all the time so that the tree does not burn. To make the pulls for this slingshot, I used an old rubber band from my Hawaiian spear. I threaded the elastic through the holes that I pierced with an awl. One side and the other side the same way. Now I will make 2 cone-shaped bamboo plugs, insert them into the hole of these elastic bands, and thus firmly fix both sides of the elastic band in the slingshot. Tighten the rubber band and you're done. Now I find exactly the middle and cut it in half with a knife. Now I insert a piece of rope inside this, and there will be a hook for the future dart so I can hunt fish. And with the help of this bamboo stick, I will show you how it works. My homemade bamboo slingshot is ready. Moving on towards my camp in the woods. This is where I want to do a little training with a slingshot and hunt for prey. First of all, I put on my malarial mosquito suit back. The costume is called Shark Extreme. In the meantime, you can remove the mosquito net so that I have better visual control because I want to practice a little with my slingshot now. I made 2 slingshot rods, one black with a rope to shoot arrows specifically for slingshot fishing. This will be my next mission. And this thrust is made with such an appearance basket, though not from leather but a backpack strap, to shoot projectiles that I find under my feet, namely small stones. It's like I'm some kind of assassin. In general, I will use this coil of rope as a target. In the middle, there is a hole. This will be our so-called bullseye. Hit. Hit. Generally flew to the side. Hit. Hit. Miss. I finished my workout. Did a great job today. And since I'm sweating, water is leaving my body. It needs to be replenished somehow. So now I'm on my way to the lake to get fresh water and collect some stones as ammunition for my slingshots. Near the water, it is much easier to find suitable stones. They are smooth and more streamlined. I will collect more of them. Then I noticed that a fish was swimming very close to me at the surface of the water. And it became very interesting to me if I could get fish with a slingshot. I charge the stone and aim. Well, almost, but it didn't hit. The fish is very nimble, and my skills are still not enough to get into it. But most importantly, I took fresh water and also collected some stones as ammunition. I returned to my forest camp. In order not to go back and forth in vain, I went on the way to the jungle to replenish my stocks of fruits and useful herbs for tea. The stone in the snake fruit is the perfect projectile in my slingshot. So I collect all the bones in my pocket. I go further, firing at everything in a row to somehow increase my level of slingshot skills. But suddenly I hear this. Do you hear the sound? Something is going on. No friends, this is not simulated, and it didn't seem to me that there is someone here. It was a big pheasant. I did not expect such a meeting at all. I was even a little scared. The distance of the shot for me was very large and I did not hit. After I went down and most likely found its nest, and if I did not manage to catch a pheasant with a slingshot, then I will try to catch it with my photo trap. I chose a suitable tree next to this nest and hooked my photo trap in this direction. Communication check. Everything is working.
Cool. Let's move on.
Since I am in the coniferous part of the forest, I tried to find pine cones to get some nuts. But I could not find them, so I took fir cones and checked for seeds, which, by the way, are also very nutritious and edible. I shook a lot of cones, but I could not get the seeds. I move on. Since my mission today is night spearfishing in the lake that was formed in the crater of the volcano, I need to think ahead and prepare some firewood so that at night after spearfishing I can quickly and without problems warm up by the fire. Also, as usual for tinder, I will take some leaves and pine needles. I put them in my pants pocket and let them dry. But when you collect leaves from the ground with your bare hands, you must not forget that you are not at home. But these are the tropics, and there are a lot of tree scorpions here. This species is called a dwarf tree scorpion. The poison for humans is not fatal, but they are quite aggressive. They often live in a tree and due to their flatter shape can crawl into very narrow cracks where they make their ambush. I have prepared firewood for myself for the night, and now I also want to build a fire and make myself a fruit compote from the items that I managed to collect today. I will get a flint and make a fire, even in a damp forest. This is not a problem at all. After a couple of minutes, my fruit punch was ready. I also had a bite of snake fruit. Mosquitoes, of course, are sick of it. They just fly into the mouth and nose wherever they fly. Boiled snake fruit. After a little snack, I took my slingshot and went out into the open area. There were whole layers of solidified lava from the volcano. The stones are very unstable. I need to be careful. I noticed some movement in the tree and decided to make an ambush here. These were proteins, the meat of which, by the way, is very edible. See? On a branch of a squirrel. It's good that the suit is tight. It was already evening and the sun was slowly sinking below the horizon. I decided to prepare and redo it a little and strengthen my shelter from the wind. For this, I need 2 large logs, and to get them, I use my axe. Fine. I just carefully removed the upper flooring of the hut, and the main frame needs to be redone. This log needs to be placed at 45 degrees, one side into the ground and the other side into the tree trunk, on which I will place my hammock, and on the reverse side in the same way. And the crossbar that I tied with ropes, just put on top. I put it on top of these supports, that is, the cover will put pressure on the crossbar from above and thereby close this game, and the main support will simply crash deeper into the ground. Strength test. I think it's great. This is a very simple and reliable connection. I put the top cover back in place and add some fresh twigs. Today I worked hard. I can lie down and relax for an hour, listen to the sound of nature and enjoy the moment. Restore my strength, because I still have night spearfishing in front of me. Well, it's comfortable enough. I'll tell you, I thought it would be worse than the wind. There's no rain yet either, and that's good. The fire warms at least morally raises my mood. But I won't waste time, and under the light of this fire I'll gather my gear, take a Hawaiian pole spear and try to go down to the lake to do night spear fishing with a Hawaiian pole spear in the crater of the volcano, as you asked me before. To be honest, I have no idea at all what is happening there underwater. And in general, it's bad that I do reconnaissance at night, but it will be as it will be. It's time to prepare your backpack. I'll take a mask and snorkel for spearfishing, and also take out my homemade Hawaiian pole spear. I connect it to the handle. The Hawaiian pole spear is the most primitive spear gun for hunting fish. I take everything else that I need for filming and I go through the dark forest to the lake. After 40 minutes, I was already at the lake. I was already very eager to see the night underwater world in the lake that was formed in the crater of the volcano. I put on a mask, pick up a Hawaiian pole spear, and dived under the water. To tell you that I was horrified, to say nothing, was a huge shock for me. I expected to see a completely different picture underwater. Crystal clear water like in Lake Baikal. Beautiful vegetation, but what was waiting for me here just plunged me in shock. The depth of the lake is very large. I just did not see the bottom. There were only frozen layers of lava, caves, and sunken trees. The place was interesting, but very dangerous for spearfishing. The transparency of the water was very poor, which made it very difficult to navigate underwater, especially in unfamiliar areas. But one thing pleased me. There was a lot of fish. Fish slept peacefully in secluded places, and it was not at all difficult to catch her. I even caught a few specimens with my bare hands. but not a bad-sized tilapia. But it turned out to be very nimble. I physically simply could not hunt for a long time. The water was very cold. I froze and crawled ashore. There is prey. This is the most important thing. I cleaned all the fish right away on the shore of the lake and washed it thoroughly. I urgently returned to the forest camp. I need to warm up and cook the fish. Friends, here is very cold. Honestly, if I knew what such conditions here, I would cross it off my list. I wouldn't go there to hunt at night. Firstly, it's scary. Just terribly, honestly, very scary. I thought there would be reeds, there would be a mule of some kind of grass. There are just stones, everything is lava, sharp stones of the cave. Visibility is just 20 centimeters. You swim incomprehensibly where the darkness is, and in front of you a stupidly sharp stone appears, and in it sit in the holes of the fish. This is the most terrible place where I once did spearfishing, and even more so at night. It would be more correct to do reconnaissance first during the day to understand what is under you, and then to hunt. And besides this, the water is very cold. I froze like a carpet. I ended my spearfishing because I was just shaking like that. It's very cold for me. Now I'm sitting warming up and restoring my strength, and I understand where I am. What adventure I got into? Honestly, so that someone can explain to me that this is how it will be, or at least I dived there during the day and knew that there was such a relief and such transparency of the water. I definitely wouldn't have climbed there at night, but it turned out how it turned out. In any case, there is prey. Now I'll eat 3 little things before going to bed, and I'll fry and eat the rest in the morning. Oh, I'm cold. Oh, I'm cold. The most important thing is to dry your head. Two such fish are enough for me to have a bite to eat before going to bed. And it's good here, it's warm and warm. Cool. What's the head? Already almost dried up. No, now it's warm and comfortable. By the way, it's fresh at night, but not cold. I got warm. The prey was roasting on the fire. Do you hear sounds? And after 15 minutes, the dish was ready. Today was a very eventful day. I spent a lot of energy, but I managed to catch prey and live one more day in the forest. It's time to go to bed. In the morning, I can say that I slept very soundly. Yesterday, I was very tired. Good morning, friends. I can say with confidence that this survival was very interesting. I spent 24 hours in the rainforest, but it's time to change the location. I take my backpack and go in search of new adventures.